This is Spo-Ad Cast. Spo-Ad Cast is the official podcast of the St. Thomas University Sports Administration Program.
We are your inside look into the sports industry.
Want to get a job in sports?
Yeah.
Listen to Spo-Ad Cast.
And we are back.
Welcome back.
Jason,
What's up?
do you have some news to share with anybody?
I did not get left on my knees.
Yes.
Yes. Officially an engaged man, so.
Yes.
Yep.
Good for you. For those who have not seen the video, actual live video of it going down is out on our Facebook page. It's on my Facebook page. I think it's on your Facebook page too. Yep. So for those of you who haven't seen it, definitely I recommend going out and checking it out. I watched it.
It's pretty funny.
Parts of it a couple of times again today.
It's pretty funny.
It's definitely well worth it.
And embarrassing.
No.
So nerve-wracking. You can see I'm like freaking out.
Oh, yeah. Well, we could also hear it last week. So.
Yes. Yeah, that's true.
But hey, a big congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm happy for you.
Thanks.
What's going on? What's going on in your world?
Not much. We had comprehensive exams this last weekend for the graduate program. So I was naturally for the week prior in a hole reading.
Sure.
9-10 hours a day.
That's life.
For the exam. I think I did okay though, so I'm pretty sure I'd be shocked if I didn't pass that thing. So
there we go.
Yeah. So
good news.
But it's not bad. And now I only have one class in the MBA. So my life has gotten a lot easier. So I'm on the downhill slide in terms of the MBA and even law school. I'm relaxing for a little bit.
There we go.
So how about you? What's up?
Same old. Working hard. Heat finally opened their season, the regular season, next week. So I'm very.
Have you had a lot of
very
training?
Excited for that. Well, we've only had 2 home preseason games so far.
Okay.
So last Saturday was the second time I got to be there and be involved and train and do whatever it is that they're going to have me do.
So
that's cool.
Is that something that you only are there for game days, or are there other days you have to be there? Or?
No, right now just game days, game nights. This first couple months will be a little tough, given I still have classes.
Right.
Won't be able to make every game, but no, it's great.
That's cool.
It's a good day to be alive.
Definitely.
I wanted to talk to you about Andrew Wiggins, freshman at University of Kansas, projected to be, at least a lottery pick, if not the number 1 overall pick in next year's NBA draft.
2015.
No.
The
draft next summer.
2016.
No.
I'm trying to get my years
2000
right. It's 2014 right now. Is it not?
It's 2013.
13? Is it? No, it's not. It can't be. It is?
It's 2013.
It is? I don't even know what year
People.
it is. See, this is how stressed
Everyone out there, just so you know, it's 2013.
2013. So
Jason lives in a different world.
So that's
next summer. Let's just put it this way. Next summer, during the NBA draft.
So 2015. I said it the first time.
No, dude. Next summer is 2014.
This coming summer is 2014.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like the very next summer.
This coming summer. Okay, you had to clarify that. This coming summer, 2014. That's what we're looking at.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
See, this one, next one. That's I do different math. Okay.
Semantics.
Right. So
2014.
What do we got going on in 2014?
Lottery pick, if not the number 1 pick.
Cool.
Now, he has not played a game yet for Kansas. College basketball season hasn't started yet. Okay. Rumors are already circulating, and apparently it's already come from Adidas themselves that once this guy signs with an NBA team and becomes a professional, they're going to offer him a shoe deal worth upwards of $180 million.
That's kind of nice.
Yeah. And Nike has already come out and said that they're going to match that. So it's going to be a bidding war.
So they're also going to they're both going to sign him, or that they're just
both
fighting?
Want to?
Wow.
Now, here's the kicker. Kansas is an Adidas school. So
it's likely he'll go that route.
Maybe. One would think.
Maybe.
But this is crazy to me on 2 levels. First of all, this I'm not going to say kid. He's not a kid.
He's 18 years old.
He's 18.
Yeah.
He, this young man, we'll call him, hasn't played a game, and he's already getting rumors of $180 million thrown at him.
I wouldn't even play
for the next level.
I wouldn't play at all.
That's the first issue.
I would never play. I would not play a single dribble.
Kind of like what Jadeveon Clowney's doing.
Yeah,
Why play?
I would do the same thing. Why get hurt? Because you're not going to get that money otherwise.
The next part of this, which, we've talked a lot about the NCAA, recruiting, all the violations, and a lot of times we think of it in smaller, sort of minuscule ways of, getting around the rules. If I'm a coach and you're my buddy, I can't contact this player, but you're my buddy, so I'll say, hey, go contact him for me.
Right.
We think of things that are going on smaller scales like that.
Right.
But the Harrison twins, who are both freshmen at Kentucky.
Yeah, I'm still sore subject.
Maryland.
We lost them, yeah.
Now, the battle behind that recruiting was obviously Maryland, Under Armour school.
Yes.
Their AAU school team was sponsored by Under Armour.
Man.
Okay.
How do we fail?
So it was they had and their two schools came down between Maryland and Kentucky.
Right.
Kentucky obviously a Nike school, Maryland Under Armour. Their AAU school team
did we lose that?
was Under Armour. I haven't heard this, but I am almost confident, 100% confident that behind the scenes there was talks going on with, hey, you come to this school, when you get to the pros, because those two will go to the pros.
Sure.
They're for sure NBA players,
right?
Barring any injuries. You come to Kentucky, boom.
You
go to the league, you got a Nike shoe deal.
Right.
You come to Maryland, boom. You go to the league, you got an Under Armour shoe deal.
I
think it's bigger scale going on.
I don't doubt it. I mean, I don't doubt that at all. At all.
Okay, so this Andrew Wiggins Adidas story. Do you see a problem with this? And the fact that we have a kid who hasn't played a game, already getting all this money thrown at him.
Right.
I mean, to me, this is only going to start a trend.
Oh yeah, I mean the trend is definitely going that direction. I mean, we're already looking at 13 and 14-year-old athletes for college recruitment for football. I mean, I read a thing not too long ago, maybe in the last few months, about a 13-year-old kid in California who's being recruited by USC and Oregon, and he's a quarterback. He's 13 years old.
Has he played high school ball yet?
No.
Okay.
He's in middle school, and he's already being recruited. So I don't. This doesn't surprise me at all. Do I like it? Not really, but I'm not shocked by it. It's what's more crazy to me is that a guy who has never played in the NBA is somehow worth $180 million. And to me, if a company can afford to pay that much money, they're not paying enough money in taxes because I cannot understand why one person could be worth that much money. Like that's crazy. Especially, I mean, it's not like this guy's LeBron James. I mean, LeBron doesn't have a $180 million deal. I mean, to my knowledge,
but when he came out of high school, he had that $90 million Nike deal, which made headline news back then.
Sure,
but that was LeBron James.
Yeah,
not one person on this planet who saw him play or heard about him had any doubt that he was going to be an absolute superstar.
Yeah,
when he was 17. Now there are still some doubts, and some have even said that Andrew Wiggins will be the next LeBron James. He's that caliber of a player.
Yeah.
But we're talking $180 million for a
college
freshman.
That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
When we talked about Johnny Manziel, you said if you put yourself in his shoes,
right,
how you would have been just as carefree.
I would have been crazier. I would have been nuts. Yeah.
Put yourself in the shoes again as a freshman in college. And that very next summer, you got $180 million.
He's going wild. He's going wild.
I'm sorry, but if I sprain my toe,
crazy.
I'm sitting out 2 weeks.
I wouldn't even play. I literally wouldn't even play a single game. I wouldn't play at all.
Yeah, I mean,
I wouldn't. I wouldn't play. If they were saying you're going to get X amount, I would train, and I would get in really good shape, but I would not play a single bucket of basketball because I wouldn't want that money to go away.
Right.
He can only go down from that number.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't go near it. Would not go near it. Wouldn't want to touch it.
It's just crazy to me that sports has just gotten to this level. from a business standpoint, it's just big business.
Oh, it's huge business.
I mean, it is.
I mean, we subsidize it though. I mean, we look at all the teams, all the schools, everything. Most of these companies are nonprofits. The schools are nonprofits. All this money is donated or funneled by alumni or by the ticket itself. You know, I mean, people get upset that, you know, we pay too much money in taxes, but how ridiculous is it that we pay taxes in general, and then we go to a game and we'll pay $135 for a ticket to watch a single game, mm-hmm. and then we get upset when we then, in return, give subsidies to stadiums for stadium financing or beneficial tax treatment from a county or a state perspective. I mean, people have to look in the mirror. I mean, we are providing these businesses to be this big, and if we did not allow that, there'd be less money on the table. You know, we're the problem. We the people are the problem.
We're fueling it.
We are fueling that environment, and we are allowing them to make that kind of money. You know, and at the same time, I mean, great. And sports hires a lot of people. It is big business. It's, you know, it has one of the largest employment, you know, tracks in the country, which is beneficial. But, you know, we are also allowing these players to make so much money. I mean, it's filthy money. I mean, mm-hmm. if a kid who's never played in the pros can get $180 million for a shoe deal, just for a shoe deal. I mean, this is not even like contract or like, you know. I mean, that's insane money. I mean, his great grandchildren will never do anything, like barring he doesn't blow.
Right. And I don't really know how the what the language in these endorsement contracts say, but I don't know. You know, say he does get hurt, he might still get that $180 million.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's very likely.
Crazy to me. Kind of sticking with this interesting contract sports talk. I just told you right before we came on about this fan text that you had never heard of.
Yeah, I don't even know what this is about.
What it is a platform to now buy and sell, basically own stock in professional athlete brands.
Right.
Which I'm still trying to figure it out. I haven't had a whole lot of time to really research this. To me, I don't think it would ever get off the ground. I don't know how. I just don't get how this would work.
So, I mean, what is the contract? So you have a player.
And Arian Foster is who I've read a lot about. He's the one that
he's like one of the main people.
Main people, I guess. He's on board with it. Okay. He wants people to invest in him.
So what are they investing in?
Him, I guess. So what I read is that from the athletes side of it, all they have to do is disclose all of their financial information.
Right.
You know, their contracts, their endorsements, whatever, everything.
Okay.
So just like any publicly traded company would.
Right.
You know? And I guess what it sounds like is that you would have, or I would have, the option of purchasing a stock in, you know, for this example, Arian Foster.
Right.
Or RG3 or whoever. How you would get return on your investment, I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of what I don't understand. I mean, I could see wanting to do, like, I understand the concept, but I don't understand in terms of an investment, what's our return? Like, what, you know, because, I mean, a career is only so long, and outside of being a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And even then, like, you do get boosts for that. You know, you get hired, you know, signing, you know, like money for when you could do a signing day or something like that, or if you do a guest speaker appearance, you get more money if you're a Hall of Famer. But
right.
I mean, how diluted will this pot get if it's? I mean, is it limited? Is it like only 100 people can invest, or I mean, how?
Well, what I've read is that currently there's 100 million shares out there.
100 million?
100 million
for all the athletes, or
just in Fantex in this entire
total,
you know, this platform.
Right.
Most of that is by the founders and the backers, the investors, to get this off the ground.
Okay.
And
so there's like startup calls.
Yeah. I guess then what I've read so far then is that they're selling another 1 million shares to just, you know, schmucks like you and I for $10. So we could buy a $10 stock in
I just don't see what
some professional athlete brand.
I just don't see what you get in return for that $10.
Right, and I saw so I saw that John Elway is also a brand that you can invest in.
Right.
And so I'm thinking maybe, okay, he has a lot of car dealerships. Maybe it's, I mean, if he goes out and buys 10 more car dealerships and then his net worth increases by 100,000, now am I getting
a cut of that?
A couple bucks off that?
Right.
I have no idea how this will work. I think I'm with you. I think it's a good concept.
I think it makes sense if you look at an athlete like you would any product that's like on the market, like a Coca-Cola. Like Coca-Cola sells stock, but they also produce products. So it's kind of hard for me to understand like what they're producing. Like you're making money off of one person's labor or name or image or their ability to be a brand as an individual, but the gravy train stops eventually, and then it's all predicated on the financing of another individual, where a company is totally different how that operates. It has a board of directors. It has all these different financial, bodies that manage this money. I mean, what's to say that you don't have an Arian Foster who then blows all of his money
or gets hurt,
on cars, cocaine, strippers, and then you're stuck out in the middle of nowhere with
out of $10
with your let's say you put in more than $10. Let's say you put in 1,000. So then you you have 100 stock in Arian Foster, and then all of a sudden he just goes belly up because of his debauchery. Like
right.
I don't a company, there's retribution for that. You can sue the board of directors. You can sue. You have those types of claims, but you don't really have any accountability for what these athletes are going to do. So I don't really understand what you're going to get for your money. Like I'm really kind of struggling on that.
What about injuries too? Football players are so volatile. One injury,
you're out.
Could be career ending.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely.
It's as simple as that.
I feel like it could only work for marquee players. At all. I mean, I feel like they could only... I feel like if they restricted it to maybe, I don't know, the top 25 players in the league, and, you knew that there was some stability there. But even still, I mean, I feel like the investment... I don't understand what the investment really is. Like, I mean, I feel like you're kind of being like somewhat of a limited partner in their ventures, but are you really? Like, I would much rather buy a limited partnership interest in one of their companies than I would be to buy stock in them as a brand. Like, I just don't. For me, it doesn't make sense. I feel like fans might jump on it as, I own stock of Adrian Peterson, or I own stock for Tom Brady, but that's go America. Like, you failed again. Like, I just don't. It doesn't make sense.
I
don't understand it.
Briefly came across, and while I was reading about this, an excerpt that was saying that there's a company out there that insures fantasy football players. And I didn't even take the time.
Are you serious?
Yes.
What? You have to be kidding me.
No. And that
insures fantasy players?
Yes.
Like, how? Like, I don't... what?
I don't know. I wasn't even going to take the time to read up on it. If they get
hurt, do they supplement you points in the league? Like, how does that work?
I have no idea, but that is where our culture is.
I don't get it.
It's crazy.
Dude, it's like over-insurance for everything. Like, next they're going to try to sell everyone volcano insurance or something. Like, that's the next thing on the list, or the Peter Griffin cloud insurance. It's going to happen, Like, what?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Fantasy football player insurance.
God. I mean, that's ridiculous. I don't even...
I don't even know... I don't even...
I mean, fantasy football is big business. I actually read this week that it is the first offshoot of another business to be a billion-dollar industry. So,
I mean, granted,
the
that's
NFL
cool,
is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and now fantasy football has become a billion-dollar industry in and of itself.
On some level, is that kind of sad?
I don't know. I mean, it gives people something to do. I mean,
but isn't that kind of sad?
Like, I mean,
don't we have enough things, especially in this technology generation, that we can go read something? You can read about anything.
Yeah, but
I just heard you can learn anything in 20 hours.
You're talking to Americans about that. I mean, asking people to read is like you're getting kind of ridiculous here. You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, fantasy sports for me, I've always played fantasy sports. I was in fantasy football before they had it on the computer where you had to manually calculate the stats.
Oh, wow.
And meet with people when
That's
I was
serious.
in middle school. So I remember the old way of fantasy football, and I much appreciate the computerized versions that exist today. I love playing it, but it can consume people's lives. Like I do not doubt it absolutely does. And people are constantly on the waiver wire, constantly like looking for trades, constantly doing stuff. I mean, and I have a little element of that as well, especially when money is on the line. But I mean, I will say it enhances the NFL's brand.
It does.
Because
and
you will follow games that you wouldn't follow otherwise if you didn't play.
Right.
So for them, it's actually been a very beneficial model. But insurance for frickin' players, like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, it's like insuring a video game character.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, what's next? Madden insurance? Like, for when you do the season? Like, when you do the season mode?
Why not?
Like, what? Oh, like, take out an insurance policy on your main guy. You never know what'll happen.
So you can't turn off injuries. So.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, man, that's pathetic.
We are...
Go America.
We are in a fun time here in America. That's for sure. There's a lot of interesting things going on.
I can't even believe that's a real story. Is this, like, did you read it in The Onion? Are you sure it wasn't an
I
Onion?
wish. It would have made more sense
article.
if it was in The Onion.
Unbelievable. I can't even... I don't even know what to say to that.
Let's move on to something else.
For real. I actually found a report this week. There was a NFL Commission study that was done at the University of Central Florida, UCF Knights. So it was done somewhat in the local area for us.
Yeah.
But it was about female fans. And I found a lot of the information to be really interesting because I didn't expect what the results were from the actual results of the survey. They said that as a general statistic that women represent 45% of the NFL's viewership, which to me blew me away. I didn't believe that was even close to the number. I figured it was like maybe 20%, like at most.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was around 50%. That is surprising. I try to think coming, from Madison, football is really, it's almost like a religion up there because there isn't a whole lot else, to be honest.
Yeah,
but between the Badgers
and milk
and beer.
And beer, yeah.
Between the Badgers and Packers, most of the females that I know are
fans.
Are big fans.
Sure.
Then you come down here and then you're literally in a different world.
Sure.
And you can't really make a fair judgment of anything because it's just craziness down here. But 45% on a national
I thought that was
level.
huge. I mean, I recently went to the Dolphins game. I went to the Buffalo game that was tragic for the Dolphins, but nonetheless, I was in the audience and I was looking around, people watching, and it's a great opportunity to do that. And I didn't feel like there was 45%, women there. Not only that, but I don't feel like the culture, and this study really kind of backed up what I'm about to say, is that I don't feel like the fan experience is geared towards women. I saw a guy in a T-shirt at the Dolphins game. No joke, and hopefully nobody is offended by this. It said, "She wants the D," with a Dolphins D on it.
We are in Miami.
Granted, we're in Miami, but it's stuff like that happens nationally that to me would be a major it would be a major turnoff for girls. Of course. Because you're going to see that. And even for myself, like I was there with Tammy.
And you're just like, what?
And we're watching the game. And, there's one drunk idiot behind us that's going crazy. And granted, I've been at games where I've been a little too drunk myself. I'm not like saying I'm a saint. But at the same time, like it's pretty unruly. It's pretty vulgar.
Yeah.
And not to say that like women can't deal with that or they're not like strong enough to handle that themselves. But it just doesn't have that vibe of women culture, and it doesn't seem to promote what women would like, And this survey really kind of addressed a lot of those same sentiments that I kind of noticed. Like they talked about the most frequent items that were purchased merchandise-wise.
Ooh, what was that?
I found women's T-shirts were the number one item sold. You know what the second was? Women's hats and visors. The third, women's accessories with logos. The first male item on the list was T-shirts, male T-shirts.
What do you think? It's all these husbands and boyfriends and fiancés like yourself going out to football games and they feel bad that they leave their wife at home or their girlfriend at home, so they pick them up a shirt or a visor and say, here you go, honey?
I don't know. With this research, it's saying 45% of the base is women. So I don't know if that's true anymore. I know a ton of fans that are women that are diehard, like ridiculously diehard fans for multiple teams, not just mine in DC, but multiple teams across the country that are diehard fans, and will throw stats out. I mean, they know their stuff. It's an interesting study that they did. I'd encourage everybody to take a look at some of the numbers that they posted. They kind of talked about how long each of them have been fans, and the numbers kind of reflected the same as men, which to me was surprising. But as a culture of men that have traditionally been known as the NFL fans, it's an interesting thing because it's the NFL really needs to turn its head to this other body that they really haven't paid attention to. I think it's a great opportunity for the NFL to bring in more women and kind of tailor it to maybe what women would want at the game events specifically.
Sure.
I know the women's breast cancer movement, the pink jerseys in October, has been a huge influence. Yeah. With bringing women into the game, and because girls get to wear pink at the game, and it's like kind of it's like a fun. Not that girls are all going to wear pink, but I mean,
I'm sure most of them would.
A lot of them
would.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a good project.
I wonder if it kind of speaks on what we were talking about earlier, where sports has just gotten to this grandiose scale that it's everyone's now a fan. Everyone is into sports.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to be crazy not to. I mean, you have 100 million plus watched the Super Bowl. So 1/3 of every person in the country watched it at some point last year for the Super Bowl.
It's going to snow this year in the Super Bowl.
I'm so excited. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be great.
I mean, I'm thinking about taking a bus up just to be in New York for it. I think it'd be awesome.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I'd like to come up to D.C. and ride up there with you.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to be really fun. So... But it should be interesting, I look forward to the NFL maybe tailoring that a little bit, but I was very blown away by the...
Yeah, those are really surprising figures. Yeah. I want to read that article. So, definitely.
But it looks like we're out of time here yet again. Supposedly we had to pay for all the tape that they record us on, and word on the street is that it's extremely expensive.
And Carlos has a life, apparently,
yes.
Even though...
A small life, as he says. But for myself, I'm Jason Fowler. You can find us on Facebook, our YouTube channel, Twitter.
And I'm Trevor Graham. You have been listening to the Spo-Ad Cast, the official podcast of the St. Thomas University Sports Administration Program. Take care.
Adios.
This is Spo-Ad Cast. Spo-Ad Cast is the official podcast of the St. Thomas University Sports Administration Program.
We are your inside look into the sports industry.
Want to get a job in sports?
Yeah.
Listen to
Spo-Ad Cast.